Hey everybody, it's Chad with Nobody Else's Auto. It is Friday morning. We're actually shooting this on Friday morning because I've got to get back on the road and go pick up some more stuff. I got back from Meekum on Sunday, tried to get caught back up on everything I had hanging from being gone for the weekend, and then I found out that about 45 miles away from me they were smashing a small yard that's been there forever. Not a huge yard, a couple hundred cars. A lot of it was 90s and early 2000s stuff. But that yard been there for a long time, and there was also a lot of 70s and 80s stuff in there. So we went out Wednesday, brought a couple trailer loads back. Went out yesterday, brought 3 trailer loads back. And I'm getting ready to head back out with a couple more trailers to see what else we can get before it all goes flat. Did get a few vehicles out of there. We'll try to catch those on the next episode. What we're going to walk around today is some of the parts. Like I said, this yard been there for a long time, and back in the 70s and 80s, a lot of you guys remember they would pull like entire front clip assemblies and things like that and send them off on pallets, because a lot of times you could sell a whole front clip, you know, for a deer hit or something like that. So what we've got today, we've got some cabs, some front clips, some beds. So let's take a quick look at some of this stuff. First thing I brought in, I do have more detailed pictures of these on the Nobody Else's Auto page already. Going through some of the cabs that were still there. There were 3 fairly decent square body Chevy cabs. I don't know exactly what year these were, but 2 of them do have the narrower bands around the back of the cab, so obviously I'm going to assume those were mid-80s because they were the narrower, not the wider band. None of these cabs are completely perfect. They all have a little bit of rust in them, but structurally they're good. Like I said, you can look at the pictures on the Nobody Else's Auto page. When I actually took some pictures of them while I had them up in the air so you can see the bottoms of them also. Next to these cabs, we got something that was kind of interesting, kind of surprised me. These are all new takeoff 80s era square body style S-10 beds. There's 5 of them. I've got 4 tailgates, 5 beds. This white one has a topper on it, but the bed still almost looks like a takeoff. I don't know if it was a new, almost new when it came off, or they had a lot of parts stored inside of it. Maybe it was a topper they had laying there they threw on top of that bed to store stuff in. But these things, I have not found one speck of rust in any of these 5 beds. They've obviously been off and stored for over 30 years. There's a few dings and dents in them, but they are clean and they're pretty cool pieces. So, you know, these old square S10s are getting tough to find. And these are great beds. We look at the bottoms of these ones that are stacked upside down, they're just like new. They've still got the writing or the letters stamped on the inside of them from when they were made. Pretty cool pieces. You know, even the tailgates on these things, like I said, they're all new takeoffs. So with the exception of a few dings and dents just from being stored for years, these are great pieces for somebody who wants to build a little square S10. We can even look inside this one. The tailgate's off of this one inside of here. You can look at the fender wells aren't beat up. They're not tore up. They're not scratched up. You know, they've just literally been sitting for 30 plus years. So, kind of cool. Definitely going to be a big help to somebody building a square style S10. Behind these beds, I brought a load of front clips in. Obviously, like I said, they had, you know, used to take these off and stack them up or line them up on pallets because, you know, prior to the airbag days, it wasn't uncommon to just sell an entire front clip assembly. First one we got here is an 80s era Malibu. Like I said, these have been off for years. You know, some of these have probably been sitting there since the 80s. Grab that 80s era Malibu. Behind that, I've got a Caprice. Same, you know, early to mid 80s era Caprice. Once again, some of the stuff has a few dings and dents, but overall, it's pretty clean stuff. In front of that one, 75, I believe, Chevelle Malibu. And who knows how long this was, you know, how old this was when it was actually taken off the car. But pretty good metal. Next to that one, got a Monte Carlo. 69 Buick Electra. Got the whole front clip on that one, bumper, grills, and all. The last one we brought in was a 76, 77 era Ford pickup. These things are getting really popular and really hard to find. Like I said, this clip's probably been off for decades at this point. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if this was pulled off in the late 70s, early 80s. A few dings and dents, but I think even the front fenders on this thing look solid, which is kind of hard to find. So, cool stuff. Lots more coming. Like I said, we've got some vehicles that we brought in. We'll catch those on the next episode. We've got a ton of parts that I stripped. A lot of these front clips that I didn't bring the whole front clips in, I took the header panels. You know, I've got a bunch of those we'll be showing you here soon. Cutlasses, Monte Carlos, Caprices, you know, more front end nose pieces, plus the vehicles that are coming in. And we don't know what we're going to find today. We're heading back out here shortly. But unfortunately, by the time you guys see this video tonight, whatever's left will probably be flat. So, like I said, a lot of it was at 90s and early 2000s stuff. I'm trying to get all the 70s and 80s stuff I can get while we can get it. But we can't save it all, but I can sure try to grab whatever I can, because I know you guys, a lot of you guys are going to need this stuff. So anyway, thanks for being here. Thanks for taking a few minutes out of your evening and hanging out with us and seeing what's coming in. We will have some more cool stuff out of this load coming in on Monday's episode. Thanks for watching, everybody.